Chelsea summer just went nuclear, of course, by actually securing the signing of Joao Pedro, the guy that is coming from Brighton, an absolute masterclass by Chelsea. If I'm not mistaken, if you guys agree with this, that is a fantastic signing. The transformation of Chelsea attack is happening. After last season, they were the team to miss the most or the second most clear-cut chances in the league. They want to have assurances that will score goals. Before we talk about it and how much Chelsea paid and what the lineup should look like next season, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to Footy Judge Mo, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments, do you think Chelsea's front line is good enough for them to challenge for the league? But listen, all I have to say is that it is confirmed that the money they paid for Joao Pedro is £50 million plus 55 plus £5 million, if I'm not mistaken, but a 7-year contract for the 23 years old player from Brighton is absolutely a great signing for Chelsea. And a lot of Chelsea fans were actually happy with the signing. But I just want to ask a question for the people that are watching this video. Everyone said that Chelsea don't sign experience. Joao Pedro has been in the league for a bit now, and he has played for Brighton the last season, scored 20 goals. They signed Delap. He's young, inexperienced, but Joao Pedro, I believe, can absolutely lead that front line along with Palmer. They signed Gittens. We'll talk about how the lineup will look like. But in my opinion, Chelsea have struck a gold mine here in Joao Pedro. The guy is so versatile, can play all across the front line, can play as a striker, a false nine, can play on the right, can play on the left, and can play in a two-striker formation as well. And I think that Chelsea needed someone like this in their team that can actually exchange positions with everyone. And I think he will be a starter. I think he might start on the right side. We're waiting to see what role will Maresca make him play. You let me know in the chat what you guys think. But I genuinely think a 20 goal for a 23 years old in the last season in the Premier League, top scorer for Brighton in 24-25. He played 40 games for Brighton and scored 20 goals. And absolutely fantastic. A player that can start centrally, drift wide, and can actually go to be a second striker as well is something that Chelsea needed. What does that mean for the rest of the Chelsea players? The likes of Nkunku might be going out now. Maybe the likes of, I'm not sure if Madueke will be sold. We're waiting to see because Estevao is coming as well. We know that Estevao is there. So Chelsea at the current moment have, if I'm not mistaken, 8 forwards. But because they signed Jeremy Gittens, of course, Jamie Gittens for £55 million, that's a deal for Dortmund. The guy that was absolutely very good last season for Borussia Dortmund, especially in the Champions League. He's an under-21 English. I think it's easier for him to adapt to English football because he was a Man City Academy player, of course. Liam Delap, another English player that I think is a brilliant player for Chelsea, £30 million, is phenomenal and fantastic. There is Pedro Neto that is still there. There is Cole Palmer, of course, the spark of this Chelsea team, the 10, the playmaker of the league. And I believe that that front line, along with Joao Pedro, will light up the Premier League. That still, they have Jackson, they have Madueke, but I believe that Chelsea are cooking something that is so different. Ben Jacob has actually reported that they are paying 55 with a further 5 million in add-on. That is a very good price. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that that price is fair for Joao Pedro, putting in mind that Cunha went for 62 million and maybe Mbuemo will go for 62 million pounds as well? They are both experienced players in the Premier League. Joao Pedro as well, even though his age is 23, he's young. I believe he plays with composure. I think he is someone that has experience playing in the Premier League, so he doesn't need time to adapt. He plays. One of the main things that I wanted to talk about in this video is that Joao Pedro already play for a high position-based team football club, which is Brighton, a team that is relying on a lot of passes. They have a lot of possession, so it's not going to be hard for him to adapt to Chelsea, who also play a position-based brand of football. And that is why I think it's a match made in heaven. The question that a lot of people are asking, why didn't Arsenal sign this player? Why didn't Liverpool? Maybe Chelsea already did the groundwork and Joao Pedro already agreed to join Chelsea. And I think Chelsea do these deals quick. Like I know the Gittens deal took a bit, but because they were in the Club World Cup, but the Joao Pedro deal was so quick. Joao Pedro is absolutely phenomenal signing for them. Do you think that he's gonna start, or Neto's gonna start, or Gittens is gonna start? I actually think that Pedro Neto is gonna start on the left, Joao Pedro or the right, and Joao Pedro is gonna start on the opposite winger, and Liam Delap is gonna start up top. And I genuinely believe that that is a revolution in the front line. We know that Chelsea have missed a lot of chances last season. They ended the season with the third best defense in the league. The midfield is absolutely phenomenal already with Enzo, Caicedo, and Cole Palmer, with Lavia as well being there. I think that midfield is absolutely class. Now we're talking about the front line that had Jackson, Madueke, and Neto, and it wasn't so clinical. Now they're bringing players that can score goals like Delap and like Joao Pedro, and I like what Chelsea are doing. He adds width, he adds space, but one of the things that we notice in all the Chelsea signing this window is that they all have physicality in terms of pace or strength. And that is something that Chelsea needed now. Yes, Chelsea were going for a little bit of technical, but now all these players that they have now, they have a physical presence that is all we all know that is needed in the Premier League, and that is something that everyone is asking for in the Prem. Joao Pedro is a very, very strong player. He's quick as well. He has trickery and he can shoot. Gittens is so quick and so pacey and can dribble as well, but also he is strong. He's not weak. Delap is super strong up top. He's not weak. You cannot shove him off the ball. He's built like a monster up top. And I think that Chelsea, and I'm just now gonna be actually a little bit ruthless on Chelsea. I think with the squad depth they have at the current moment with that front line, I genuinely think that Chelsea should push for what? At least be in the mix of challenging. I'm not saying that Chelsea should win the league, but I'm saying that they should have an outsider chance of even trying in case the other teams fall off. Because, yeah, we know Man City have actually strengthening, Liverpool already strong and they're strengthening, but Chelsea have added enough depth up front. Maybe they're still waiting for a goalkeeper that is needed. I actually think that Chelsea will go for a goalkeeper. And of course, they are going for a center back. I genuinely think that Chelsea will sign a center back as well. And I think that will complete the team currently to actually be a complete team that can play on two fronts. They have 6 forwards now. If they let go of Madueke and, of course, Nkunku, they can have Estevao, Pedro, Neto, Jackson, Delap, and Gittens. These are 6 forwards that can actually battle for each position in the front line. The midfield with Andre Santos, Lavia, Caicedo, Palmer, Enzo Fernandez is good enough to challenge on all fronts or to actually try to be competing in all fronts. I think the target should be a Champions League quarterfinals and maybe get comfortable 4 or maybe try to push for 3rd or something. That is what is needed. I want to ask you a question before we end the video. Do you think the Chelsea team is good enough to actually challenge for the league? And where do you think Chelsea will get in the Champions League? How far can they get? Can they get to a quarterfinal? Can they get to a semi-final? You let me know in the comment section what you guys think, because I believe the Chelsea team is absolutely phenomenal. This is the lineup. In my opinion, maybe change Gittens for Neto on the left side, and that lineup, we know that the center back is a problem because Fofana is injury prone. But if they sign a center back to replace Fofana, I actually think that this team is good enough to trouble everyone in the Premier League. It's not going to be easy team to play against. It's going to be a tough battle every time you go to the bridge or Chelsea travel to Anfield, to the Emirates, to the Etihad, to Old Trafford. It's going to be an uphill battle for anyone to beat this team. That is my opinion. I want to hear yours. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys soon.